Most men struggle in relationships not because they aren't good enough, but because they make themselves too easy to take for granted. The reality is, people value what they feel they could lose. And when a woman senses that a man is always available, always chasing, and always prioritizing her above everything else, she doesn't feel the same level of respect and attraction. Think about it. Why do some men naturally command attention and keep women interested, while others seem to constantly deal with fading attraction? It's not about looks. It's not about money. It's about psychology. The men who trigger deep emotional attachment are the ones who create a sense of value and presence. They know how to hold their space. They understand the importance of mystery. And most importantly, they never give away their attention too easily. That's exactly what we're going to break down in this video. How to shift the dynamic. How to become the kind of man a woman truly respects and values. And how to make sure you're never in a position where someone stops appreciating you. Let's get started. 1. Stop acting like you need her. One of the biggest reasons men lose respect in relationships is because they act like they need a woman to be happy. The moment a woman senses that you are emotionally dependent on her, the balance shifts. Instead of being someone she admires, you become someone she takes for granted. Think about it. When someone is too eager, too available, and too willing to please, they lose a certain level of value. It's human nature. We appreciate what feels earned, not what is handed to us effortlessly. This is why the men who are the most respected and valued in relationships never come across as desperate. They have a sense of independence. They enjoy a woman's company, but they don't make her the center of their world. So, what's the shift you need to make? If she takes hours to respond, don't rush to reply the second she does. If she cancels plans, don't immediately reschedule. Let her show effort. If she starts acting distant, mirror her energy instead of overcompensating. When a man carries himself with self-respect and emotional balance, it changes the way people respond to him. Women are naturally drawn to men who are secure within themselves, not those who constantly seek validation. When you stop acting like you need her and start focusing on becoming the best version of yourself, everything shifts. 2. Be willing to walk away. One of the most important things a man can learn is this. Your willingness to walk away determines your value. Most men don't realize how powerful this is. They hold on no matter what. They tolerate situations that don't serve them. They stay in relationships where they feel unappreciated, hoping that if they just try harder, things will magically get better. But in reality, the more they cling, the more the other person pulls away. See, attraction is rooted in value. And when someone feels like you'll stick around no matter what, they stop feeling the need to earn your presence. This doesn't mean playing games or creating unnecessary distance. It simply means having self-respect. Think about the men who naturally command attention. They aren't the ones begging for it. They're the ones who move through life with purpose. They don't chase endlessly because they know their time is valuable. They understand that if something isn't working, they walk away, and in doing so, they raise their value. What does this look like in real life? If someone is inconsistent, you don't argue, you step back. If they don't appreciate your time, you don't plead. You refocus on yourself. If they try to test your patience, you don't react emotionally. You maintain your frame and let them realize what they stand to lose. The reason this works is because people naturally respect those who set boundaries. When you show that you are willing to leave a situation that isn't right for you, it sends a powerful message. You are a person of value. This applies to everything, not just relationships, but life in general. Whether it's work, friendships, or social dynamics, the moment you show that you respect yourself enough to walk away from things that don't align with you, people start valuing you differently. Most people only start appreciating something once they realize they could lose it. This is why the moment you shift your mindset from chasing to choosing, everything changes. You no longer operate from fear or scarcity. You operate from strength. So, if you take nothing else from this, remember this. A person who is afraid to walk away will always be in a weaker position. But a person who values themselves enough to step away, that's someone people don't take for granted. 3. Make her compete for you. One of the biggest mistakes men make is assuming that once a woman is interested, the work is over. They stop doing what made them attractive in the first place. They become too available, too predictable, and most importantly, too easy to keep. But here's a fundamental truth about human nature. We value what we have to work for. When something feels too secure, we start taking it for granted. This is why the men who naturally hold a woman's interest aren't the ones who give unlimited attention. They are the ones who create a sense of value around themselves. What does this mean? It means you should never be in a position where someone feels like they have complete certainty about you. Not because you're playing games, but because you're focused on yourself, your growth, and your purpose. The moment someone feels like they have you entirely, they stop feeling the need to earn you. This is why men who are pursued by women never struggle with attraction. They naturally create a dynamic where their attention is something valuable. And what happens when something is valuable? People want it more. And how do you create this dynamic? Keep living your life. Women are drawn to men who are moving towards something bigger than a relationship. Have your own priorities. Don't drop everything the moment she calls. Maintain your own schedule. Don't always be available. When people know they have full access to you at all times, they stop valuing it. Let her see that you're desirable. This doesn't mean being disrespectful. It just means carrying yourself in a way that shows confidence and presence. When a woman feels like she has to earn your attention, she values it more. Men who are too eager to please often find themselves being taken for granted. Meanwhile, men who know their worth and live a life of purpose naturally attract people who want to be part of their world. So stop giving away your energy too freely. Instead, create a reality where the people in your life feel lucky to have your attention. Because once someone realizes that you're not easily replaced, they start putting in the effort to keep you. 4. Limit your attention. Most men don't realize this, but the way you give your attention determines how much it's valued. When you're constantly texting, calling, and making yourself too available, you're unknowingly lowering your worth in her eyes. Attention is powerful, but only when it's scarce. When something is always accessible, people stop appreciating it. It's why people take clean water for granted but fight over luxury items. It's basic human psychology. We value what isn't easily obtained. Too many men make the mistake of over-investing before they've even built a real connection. They text first every time. They double text if they don't get a response. They like every post, react to every story, and always try to keep the conversation going. But what happens? Instead of creating a stronger bond, they end up making themselves less exciting. Think about the men that women are most drawn to. They aren't the ones constantly checking in. They aren't the ones flooding her with attention. They are the ones who are focused on their own lives, men who have their own priorities, goals, and ambitions. That's what makes them attractive. So what should you do? You control your attention. You become selective with your energy. You don't reply instantly every time. You don't always initiate. You let her notice when you're not around. This isn't about ignoring someone or playing games. It's about showing that your time and attention are valuable. And when people feel that your attention is something they have to earn, they appreciate it far more. If you've ever felt like someone was losing interest, take a step back and ask yourself, am I making myself too predictable, too easy to access, too much of an open book? Because the moment you start limiting your attention and making people work for it, everything changes. People don't crave what's handed to them on a silver platter. They crave what feels special. So instead of overgiving, hold back a little. Let her wonder, let her reach out. Let her feel the difference when you're not always available. Because the moment she realizes your attention isn't guaranteed, she starts valuing it more than ever. 5. Become a mystery. One of the fastest ways to lose excitement in any relationship is to become too predictable. The moment someone feels like they fully understand you, like they know everything about you, the intrigue starts to fade. This doesn't mean you should be secretive or dishonest. It simply means you should avoid giving away everything too easily. Most men, when they like someone, have a habit of oversharing. They lay all their emotions on the table, constantly explain their every thought, and leave no room for curiosity. But here's the thing. People are drawn to what they can't fully figure out. The men who naturally keep a woman's attention are the ones who leave a little bit of mystery. They don't reveal everything at once. They let people discover them over time, rather than dumping all their thoughts and emotions right away. Think about the difference between a book where you already know the ending versus one that keeps you guessing. Which one is more exciting? Which one keeps you turning the pages? Relationships work the same way. When there's an element of mystery, when there's always something new to learn, people stay engaged. So how do you create this effect? Stop oversharing. Let conversations flow naturally instead of always rushing to explain yourself. Keep certain details about your life private until the right moment. Let there be gaps in what people know about you so they want to fill in the blanks. A man who is mysterious naturally commands attention. People are drawn to his presence because they can't quite put their finger on him. And that's what keeps them interested. Instead of being an open book, be a story that unfolds over time. Keep people curious, and they'll always want more. 6. Let her feel. Jealousy. Jealousy is one of the most powerful emotions in human psychology. It makes people pay attention, reevaluate their feelings, and fight for what they don't want to lose. And when it comes to attraction, a little bit of jealousy can completely shift the way someone sees you. Now, this isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate anyone. It's about understanding a simple truth. People value what others want. When someone sees that others find you desirable, they naturally start viewing you as more valuable. It's human nature. Think about this. When a product is in high demand, people automatically assume it's worth having. They want to get their hands on it before it's gone. The same principle applies in relationships. If a woman knows that other people find you attractive, she starts looking at you differently. She starts wondering, am I making the right effort? Could someone else take my place? That feeling is what keeps interest and attraction strong. The mistake most men make is acting as if they have no other options. They behave in a way that makes it seem like they are waiting for attention. They overcommit too soon, constantly try to prove their worth, and remove any sense of healthy competition from the relationship. And what happens? They become too predictable, too secure, too easy to have. A man who naturally holds a woman's attention is someone who has a presence beyond just one person. He's social, he interacts with others, and he carries himself in a way that suggests confidence. He doesn't need to brag or make a show of it. His actions speak for themselves. So, how do you create this effect? You focus on yourself. You build your life in a way that naturally attracts attention. You maintain your social circles, stay active in your interests, and keep your energy from being too focused on just one person. You never make someone feel like they are your only source of happiness. When a woman senses that you are valuable, not because you say so, but because your life reflects it, she starts investing more. She pays closer attention. She feels that little spark of urgency that makes her want to keep your attention. Because in the end, people don't chase what's always available. They chase what feels desired. 7. Control your emotions. A man who can control his emotions is a man who earns respect, not just from women, but from everyone around him. Strength isn't just about physical power, it's about emotional stability. And the men who command the most respect are the ones who don't let their feelings control them. Too many men make the mistake of being too reactive. They let small things get under their skin. If a woman takes longer to reply, they panic. If she pulls away slightly, they overcompensate. If she tests their patience, they snap and start over-explaining themselves. This type of behavior doesn't build attraction. It weakens it. Why? Because emotional control is a sign of confidence. When someone can't shake your mood, it tells them that you are secure within yourself. You aren't dependent on anyone's actions to feel good about yourself. And that's what makes you stand out. Think about the men who naturally hold people's attention. They don't overreact. They don't beg for reassurance. They don't fall apart when things don't go their way. Instead, they observe, they stay calm, and they respond only when necessary. This quiet confidence is what makes them attractive. So what can you do to develop this? Start practicing emotional discipline. If you feel like reacting immediately, take a breath and pause. If someone tests your patience, don't let it get to you. Stay composed. If a situation feels frustrating, step back and look at it logically instead of emotionally. A man who stays in control of his emotions naturally gains respect, because people are drawn to those who radiate strength, stability, and certainty. When you learn to manage your emotions, you no longer get caught up in little games. You don't chase, you don't overreact, and you don't let your energy be controlled by external factors. And that's when you truly start winning in every area of life. Have a life bigger than her. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is making a woman the center of their world. They abandon their own interests, put their goals on hold, and revolve their entire life around one person. And at first, she might enjoy the attention. But over time, something shifts. When a man loses his sense of self, he also loses the very thing that made him attractive in the first place. Women are drawn to men who have a mission, a purpose, and a life that excites them. But when a man gives all that up in the name of love, he unknowingly weakens the attraction. People respect those who are driven. They admire those who have something bigger than just a relationship. When a man has a life that is fulfilling on its own, he becomes naturally more attractive, not just to women, but to everyone around him. So, what does this mean for you? Never stop focusing on your own growth. If you have personal goals, chase them relentlessly. If you have hobbies and passions, keep them alive. If you have a strong social circle, don't abandon it just because you're in a relationship. When a woman sees that you are deeply engaged in your own life, she respects you more. She values the time you give her because she knows it's not something you just hand out freely. And most importantly, she feels inspired by your sense of purpose. A fulfilling life doesn't just attract people, it keeps them interested. The key to maintaining respect and admiration isn't in giving more of yourself to someone else. It's in making sure that you never stop being the man you were before you met them. Because when your life is rich with meaning, you never have to chase attention. People will naturally want to be part of what you're building. 9. Challenge her, don't please her. A lot of men believe that the key to keeping a woman happy is to always agree with her, always say yes, and always go along with whatever she wants. But here's the reality. Women don't respect men who are too easy to please. Respect is built when a man has his own opinions, his own standards, and his own backbone. A man who challenges a woman in a healthy way creates excitement. A man who just nods along to everything becomes predictable, and predictability leads to boredom. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that the people we respect the most aren't the ones who say yes to everything? They're the ones who challenge us, push us, and make us think. That's because respect isn't given freely. It's earned through strength, leadership, and confidence. When you challenge a woman in a healthy way, you're showing her that you aren't afraid to stand your ground. You're showing her that you have boundaries, principles, and standards that you won't compromise just to keep her happy. And that's exactly what makes a man attractive. So what does this look like? If she says something you disagree with, don't just nod. Share your own perspective. If she tries to test your patience, stay calm and unshaken instead of reacting emotionally. If she pushes boundaries, stand firm and don't allow behavior that doesn't align with your values. This isn't about being rude or dismissive. It's about being strong enough to hold your own. A man who challenges a woman keeps her engaged. He makes her think. He earns her respect. And most importantly, he shows her that he is not afraid to walk his own path. Women don't want a man who just agrees with everything they say. They want a man they can look up to, respect, and be inspired by. So stop trying to be the guy who pleases everyone. Instead, be the man who stands firm in who he is. That's the kind of man people remember. 10. Stay unpredictable. One of the biggest mistakes men make in relationships is becoming too predictable. In the beginning, everything is exciting. She doesn't know what to expect, and that mystery keeps her interested. But over time, many men fall into routines, becoming completely predictable and easy to read. And that's when attraction starts to fade. People are wired to crave excitement and unpredictability. If everything follows the same pattern every single day, there's nothing to look forward to. The sense of anticipation disappears. This is why people lose excitement in relationships, not because feelings change, but because things become too repetitive. Now, this doesn't mean you have to create unnecessary drama or act in a way that's inconsistent. It simply means that you should always keep a sense of mystery and excitement in your presence. Keep life interesting. Keep people engaged. Keep them wondering what's next. So how do you do this? Change things up. Don't always text or call at the exact same times. Let her wonder what you're up to. Be spontaneous. Instead of always following the same plans, do something unexpected every now and then. Don't always reveal everything at once. Let conversations unfold naturally instead of oversharing too quickly. A man who is unpredictable in the right way keeps people intrigued. He creates a dynamic where every interaction feels fresh and exciting, and that's what makes him memorable. Attraction isn't just about looks or charm, it's about the experience someone has when they're around you. If they always feel uncertain in a good way, if they never quite know what's coming next, they stay interested. So don't become just another routine in someone's life. Be the man who keeps things exciting. Be the man who makes people feel alive when they're around you. Because the moment you become too predictable, you also become forgettable. Attraction isn't about trying harder, giving more, or chasing endlessly. It's about understanding value. People don't appreciate what's always available. They appreciate what they feel they could lose. When you stop over-giving, when you set standards, when you become a man of purpose, everything shifts. You no longer find yourself in situations where you feel taken for granted. Instead, people start earning your time, effort, and attention. So, ask yourself, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you were doing too much, yet getting less in return? If so, which of these principles do you need to apply? Drop your experiences in the comments. I'll be reading and responding. Let's have a real conversation. At the end of the day, the choice is simple. You can keep over-investing and hoping things change, or you can become the kind of man people naturally respect and appreciate. The moment you shift your mindset, everything changes.